Hey, it's Alyssa Krall at USF in the Math for Elementary Teachers course. This is the Chapter 5 Teach-It assignment, and I'll be doing problem number 13 in section 5.1c. So let's take a look at the problem quick before we start working it. The problem says a 4th grade student devised the following algorithm for subtracting 84 minus 27. So I'm going to show you what they did in the problem, and then it says at the end that I should tell you how I would respond as a teacher, and then explain if the technique always works. So let's move the camera down here so you can see the work that I'm doing. I want you to be able to take a look at this and see here. So the first step that the student did is they wrote the problem 84 minus 27 vertically. That helps most students understand the process of subtraction a little bit better. It shows how the place values line up. So that's why we write it that way. Their first step is to take this 4 minus 7, and that's going to get them a negative 3, which is in fact correct. The next thing that they did was they took the 80 minus 20. This is because they had already worked with that ones place, so now they're going to change to that tens place. So 80 minus 20 is 60. And then in their final step, they actually added their first two values that they got. So they added the negative 3 and they added the 60. So we're going to write negative 3 plus 60, and that's going to show that we get a positive 57. That is the correct answer for the problem, so they are right. But before I explain if this is always going to work or not, I'm going to show you a similar situation so that we can see if it will work. So let's use the numbers 43 and 19. And we're going to subtract there. So the first thing we're going to do that follows what the student did is we're going to take that 3 minus 9, or 3 plus a negative 9, and that's going to give us negative 6. Then we're going to take 40 minus 10, since we've already worked with the ones, and 40 minus 10 is a positive 30. We're going to add those two values together, and we're going to take 30 plus a negative 6, which is 24. And if we were to check it, that would in fact be correct. So let's move the camera up here so you can see my face. So if one of my students showed me this in class, I could honestly say that it does always work if you're doing subtraction. It kind of shows the place value, it shows the positive, negative, integer side of the problem. However, if one of my students had a question on which algorithm works better, this or the standard subtraction algorithm, I would probably point them in the direction of the standard algorithm, just because we will have worked on that a little bit better. But since this does work, and if they're comfortable with it, I see no problem using it. As long as they're showing what they're doing, explaining the steps that they're doing, and they understand why they're doing what they're doing. They're not just doing it because it's a number on a page. If they're knowing what's going on behind the problem, then I have no problem with them doing this algorithm. So thanks for watching, guys.